and welcome to Overanalyze. My name is Levi, and today I will be covering District 23 1A. Got an exciting district coming up here, but first, location, kind of where we are, kind of northeast of the Dallas area, as far north as Bonham, kind of east of Sherman, down to basically Royce City, and even actually east of Greenville. Kind of a very spread out district, kind of right between all those places. I believe Ector is kind of in between Sherman and Bonham, and then it's only east from there. All right, so getting into the teams, we've got Campbell, Miller Grove, Dodge City, Ector, Pioneer Technology and Arts Academy of Greenville, and then there's actually one in Fate as well. We have Fanandel, yes, and Savoy. I'm gonna go Savoy. So there is a little bit of movement. We got Fruitville. They went to District 15 and 2A, and then PTAA of Fate, I think is new. I did not see them in the previous alignment. So one thing I'm really excited about for this district, there's so many games uploaded. Almost every team has at least 80% of their games, which is incredible. I think we have like 4 complete schedules, which is something that we don't see a whole lot in 1A. So I'm excited so that I can really like analyze this. I'm like geeking up, sorry. So first team, we got Dodge City. Dodge City, they went 14-0. They actually made it to the regional semifinals. They were a mere 4 points away from beating. They were a mere 4 points away from beating Huckabee and moving on to play Richland Springs. So Dodge City, they seem to have some sort of a reputation themselves for defense. I mean, they held. I don't know if you remember whenever I covered Huckabee, but Huckabee scored less than 40 points in this game, and in all of the other games they scored more than 50 points, except for the Sands game, of course. But I mean, Dodge City, they never allowed more than 40 points, even in their loss, which is really good. It was Huckabee's lowest scoring game, minus the Sands game, as I said. I honestly wonder what a Richland Springs Dodge City regional final will look like. For me, it would be exciting. For a casual viewer, or just like a regular person, even, it would not be exciting. Both teams sitting in the mid-20s in the fourth quarter or something like that. It would be fun. It would be fun for me. They beat so Dodge City in their playoff run. They beat Avenger, Midway, and Bloomberg. And it looks like they have, and in district, they held teams to below double-digit points a lot of times, including the second and third place teams. Like, I mean, that's just incredible. Making the second and third best teams in the district, like, just turning them into not great teams. I mean, yeah, I'm looking at it. That's crazy. I mean, in the playoffs, they allowed 11 points, 36, 36, and 39. I mean, especially with Huckabee, which is just a great offense. I mean, that's just incredible. So they have 9 players on their roster, 4 seniors. So that's kind of a lot. I think at least 3 starters. At least I tried to see from the highlights. I think 3. So they are kind of losing quite a bit of people, but they were so dominant this year. I think it might actually be an expectation to see them in first place again next year. But we'll get to that later. So next we got Miller Grove. Miller Grove, they got second place, actually tied for second. They did losing by district to Saltillo. They won 11-3, losing to Dodge City and then splitting with Ector. And they actually only have 1 person uploaded to the roster. But they do have a complete schedule, so they did kind of distance themselves from fourth place, and then they were quite a ways away from Dodge City. I guess they were one of the closest, but it's just Dodge City was very far ahead of a lot of these teams. As I said, they only have one person uploaded to their roster. It's hard to make a judgment on that. So next we've got Ector. They tied for second place, splitting with Miller Grove. I think both games were decided by 5 points. One just happened to be Miller Grove winning, one was Ector winning. They represented the third place team in the district. They were the only other team to win a game in the playoffs. They won by district. They beat Sulphur Bluff, and then they lost in the area round to Throckmorton. They have 2 seniors on their roster of 12-ish players. I don't know, it's kind of difficult to judge, but somewhere around there was about that many people uploaded to the roster. So they are bringing back a lot of people. I wish I could judge Miller Grove, but I really can't. And we'll get to that with final predictions. First, we got Campbell. Campbell, they got 4th place and they went 8-6. Their only losses were to the top 3 teams, except I think the closest they got was like a 10-point loss. So some distance between Campbell and the top 3 teams. They lost to Bloomberg in by district, but I mean Bloomberg, they got 1st in their district. I'll cover them tomorrow. Bloomberg pretty good, but they do have 5 seniors on their roster of 12 players, so it's quite a lot. I'm gonna have to work to make it back into the playoffs next year, but I think they can definitely do it. So next I'm gonna cover Savoy. I'm really bad with pronouncing things. I'm gonna go Savoy. I think they got 5th. Maybe they tied for 5th. They either went 3-11 or 4-10, depending on the game, with Fannondale, whom they beat by 4 in their first game, in another game of the season. They don't have a roster uploaded, but I think they got 5th. I don't know. And they were pretty close to beating Campbell. I think a 4-point game, something like that. No, a little bit more, but again, with the 5 of 12 seniors for Campbell, might be a way for a team to pick up a playoff spot, steal a playoff spot. So next we got Fannondale. I think that maybe they tied for 5th. Again, depending on that game to Savoy. They are missing 2 games actually, though one against Savoy, but then also against Fruitvale, whom they beat by 3 the first time. So they're close with them. They have 2 seniors on their 8-person roster, so it's hard to judge in relation to Savoy, but 2 seniors of 8 players, not bad. Maybe they can steal a game. I don't know. All right, so final predictions. Pretty electric district, I would say. Maybe not. Maybe they're not dominating the playoffs, but they will have some close races next year, especially I think for that 4th place spot. I can see 3 teams fighting for that spot, being within a game of that spot. So I've got Dodge City at 14-0, Ector at 11-3, Miller Grove at 11-3, Campbell at 7-7, Savoy at 6-8, Fannondale at 5-9, PTAA Greenville at 2-12, and the PTAA Fate at 0-14. So a very good district. They're a very competitive district, I should say. So the Fate PTAA, I don't really know where to put them. Generally, new schools, that means they're like really small. I just have them at the bottom, but I don't know. Maybe they could be pulling in some really good players. I just don't know. I haven't really seen them at all. But for splits, I have an Ector and Miller Grove split. Again, couldn't really judge with the one person uploaded to the roster for Miller Grove. I have a Camboy and Savoy split, and I have a Savoy and Fannondale split. So Savoy picks up a game against Campbell, but Fannondale also picks up a game against Savoy. So I mean, I really can see Savoy maybe tying for 4th place. Maybe even Fannondale climbing up to 4th place, or if they manage to beat Campbell, they might actually manage to beat Campbell. It's gonna be interesting. And then, like I said, depending on the Miller Grove roster returning, I don't really know about that Ector split. I just have it still as a split, but again, depending on that, Miller Grove might have 5 seniors, maybe they have 0 seniors, and I think that might determine kind of what happens there. So that's all I have for District 23 1A. Again, really cool district. Tomorrow we'll finish out Region 3 strong with the District 24. So yeah, that's all I have. Thanks for watching.